All right, sorry about that. I have to finish doing the exit ticket responses. Hopefully, the little man here and his sister calm down and allow me to finish it. Teaching from home is fun. So I'm on the Macbeth questions and some of the Richard II questions from the exit ticket. If Bolingbroke really had Richard killed, or if he just died of unfortunate circumstances, so in the play they take the stance that Bolingbroke has Richard killed, and that does change how we see him in Henry IV and Henry V. In history, though, I wish I could give you a better answer. I would say that Richard's death seems a little bit too convenient to be happenstance. So think of it as in some way orchestrated, it's just who does it. Some people say Richard, to make Bolingbroke look bad, starved himself to death in the prison. Like, was just like, I am going to die and it's going to be on your hands. Just a little description on each character and what their roles in the plays are. I am not your Spark Notes, so no. Sorry, good try. I appreciate that question. No questions, but I wish we had like videos or a movie to show us the lesson better. Okay. I can give you a couple more sequences. So maybe if in particular there's something you want to see from either Macbeth or Richard II in sequences, let me know and I will pick out some good sequences and put them on your classroom for you to watch. There's always a few different versions I have in mind too. Each play revolves around divine right. Yep, correct. With divine right, is the initial king chosen by the god they believe in and then carried through the bloodline? Yes, that's what they decided on. So you're looking at the different family lines and how sort of they've been divinely inspired to rule. Technically, we're still in divine inspiration in England. They've sort of let it go. You know, they're not harping on that particular trumpet as much as they used to. So is it once a king passes, another ruler is chosen by the divine source? No, the bloodline is the chosen source, which is part of your question also. The family line is the thing that is divinely chosen. And of course, we eventually, thanks to Henry VIII, make it like the male heirs of the bloodline. Didn't actually, before Henry VIII, need to be the male bloodline. Was Richard aware of his lousy rule? When Henry Bolingbroke took over London with almost no resistance, yes. But before that, no. Before that, he was like, everyone just, haters gonna hate. He really was under the impression he was fine. He wanted to be comfortable in his own life. That was his primary focus. He really didn't care about other things. Do you want your bunny? Here, take George. He's not smothering himself, I promise. Was York an important character? So York is a place given to people, and actually York in Henry V is so much cooler than York in Richard II. But essentially York, Northumberland, these are all people who have to sort of choose a side of which king they're supporting, Richard or Bolingbroke. So Northumberland throws all of their support behind Bolingbroke to become Henry IV. York. He's so much more interesting in Henry V. If family ties were important, evident in Macbeth, why was the Duke of York and Richard so willing to change his loyalty? A lot to do with Richard taking Bolingbroke's heir money. Remember I said there's a difference between what Richard as king gifts to Bolingbroke versus what Bolingbroke would have inherited from his father. So a lot of the dukes really realize that their sons and daughters' livelihoods are in danger if they continue to support Richard. And they are worried about that. I'm wondering if O'Merle was ever actually murdered. Do you mean the murderer? I mean, a lot of these people in history, like the houses like York and Northumberland, were fairly accurate, like who was in power and whether or not they did anything. But the other characters, like was there an O'Merle? Meh, probably not. Thank you, baby. Now you guys you've all heard that my daughter has successfully potty trained herself. It's very exciting. I'm excited for you and your very big poo. You wish you understood the dynamic of the royal family and how everyone is related. So a lot of times you're seeing cousins to Richard because Richard doesn't have his own sons. In Henry IV and V, the dynamic shifts to brothers because Henry Bolingbroke, while you cannot see it, has about 5 or 6 sons, which is pretty intense. I will go through and do another video on separate things for you, but keep your exit tickets coming.